Well, releases have been a little low-brow this time of the year, so I thought I'd look at something else trending recently. I'm CM Waters, and you're watching my review of Daredevil Season 2. Marvel has had a huge streak of successes of late. At least with the projects they've produced themselves. With that success, Marvel has opted to bring many of their superheroes to the small screen via Netflix, the first being the widely popular Daredevil series released last year. This series has introduced longtime fans of the original comic and newcomers whose only familiarity with the franchise is with the crappy Ben Affleck flick, to a grim and brutal take on the franchise that had viewers hooked via compelling drama and powerhouse performances. Because of that success, the series has been signed on for a second season released last week. And yes, this one knocks it out of the park as well. For those who don't know, the series follows a blind lawyer named Matthew Murdock, played here by Matthew Cox, who runs a law firm with his buddies Foggy and Karen. At least by day. By night, Murdock is a vigilante known as Daredevil, delivering justice to criminals beyond the law in a way that's beyond the law. In the first season, he battles against Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime. And in this season, he comes up against a war veteran named Frank Castle, who's slaughtering people that have crossed him, earning him the nickname The Punisher. While Daredevil attempts to enter into his battles to put a stop to his rampant actions, Matthew Murdock and his firm attempt to represent him and give him a fair trial, as Karen constantly believes that his actions are just repercussions of larger incidents, and also that he might not be guilty of the crimes he's being accused of. One thing I love about both seasons of the show is Matthew Cox as Matthew Murdock and Daredevil. As Murdock, every conversation he has with his clients, fellow attorneys, and so on is so charismatic and yet so unsettling that it just makes you think, yes, this guy was made for this role. As Daredevil, he has a natural intimidation that rings similar to Michael Keaton as Batman, a performance I don't recall seeing in ages. Another thing that this season accomplishes really well that I felt was also very well done in the first season is how it handles the investment in its villains. While most comic book villains, especially nowadays, are usually one-dimensional to give the superhero a little bit of breathing room, this one, given the time span of, 13 hours, fleshes out the Punisher to a point where you relate to him even if you don't entirely agree with his actions. My only complaint is that while the first season visually told Kingpin's backstory via flashbacks, this one is mostly conversation. Which, while the dialogue is powerful, it isn't quite as powerful as visual storytelling, a personal pet peeve of mine in media in general. Nevertheless, though, the stakes are raised in this season, as Daredevil's limitations as well as his personal boundaries are tested here, resulting in a gripping, intense series of action and events that lead up to a dramatic, albeit a little bit familiar, climax that will leave viewers satisfied until the next season. And I do hope they make a third season, because this series is still powerful to this day. God, I've been waiting so long to use that sound effect. So this week, folks, I want to know what superhero you think deserves his or her own Netflix series. Write yours in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to rate it and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe, as I'll have another review up next week.